Hello and welcome back to Impact Daily Devotional. Today our topic is entitled Instinct. And just to give you a little bit of background, this is the story of David and Goliath. Reading out of 1 Samuel chapter 17 verses 38 through 40. It says, Then Saul dressed David in his own gear, putting a coat of armor on him and a bronze helmet on his head. David strapped his sword on over the armor, but he couldn't walk around well because he had never tried it before. I can't walk in this, David told Saul, because I've never tried it before. So he took them off. He then grabbed his staff and chose 5 smooth stones from the stream bed. He put them in the pocket of his shepherd's bag and with sling in hand went out to the Philistine.
I love this whole story, as I'm sure you do, but in these few verses, there's so much in it. And, it's almost a humorous scene to imagine because they got a problem, and it's named Goliath. And he's been intimidating and basically punking out the entire Israeli military for 40 days. We read this like it happened in a half an hour, but it had been going on for 40 days. And David said, I can handle this. I got a covenant with God, and you read all the story, and he got Saul so excited. Saul said, go, and the Lord be with you. So before you go, though, let me give you my armor. So you imagine Saul, who the scripture says he's probably around 7 feet tall because he's head and shoulders above all the men of Israel. And David, who the Bible kind of gives some description, basically he's probably an average sized man at best, and he's only 17 at this point, so he's not even fully developed as a man. And you could just see the helmet falling over the front of David's face. Shoulder pads of a 7 foot tall man have no business on him. He's got the sword and he's trying to walk in this stuff and he can't even walk in it because it's falling all over him. And David said, and we call this instinct because David did something very interesting. He took the best armor in the world, which was the best that the state of Israel could buy. He took the best sword in the world because it was the king's sword. Nobody's going to have a better sword than the king. And he took all the most expensive, best things of the state of Israel and laid it aside. He said, I can't do this because I've not proven or tested them. And then he went in the brook and got 5 smooth stones. And those 5 smooth stones represents David's gifting, his instinct. It's his know-how. It's what he's good at doing. See, all of us have an instinct. All of us are good. All of us you have 5 smooth stones. It represents your gift mixture, your gift cluster, the set of things that make you uniquely good at something that you can do. And David had the instinct to know, and the boldness and the courage and a self-assuredness in God to know, I can't wear this. But if I get 5 smooth stones, I can handle this guy. And you got to know what that is. You may know, and if you don't know, this is a great time to get before God and say, God, what are my 5 smooth stones? But I can tell you, it's an instinct. It's something that's on the inside. And this proves that it's not about how much you start out. It's not about the natural advantages that we tend to try to put confidence in, having a good, knowing all the right people, or having this or that we think are advantages. What David shows us is what's the most effective thing is recognizing what you are actually good at. That's where your power is. It's not in the most expensive this and that you think you need to have an advantage and to be able to win. No, what you need are 5 smooth stones, a shepherd's bag, and a staff. And that's your gift cluster. That's the thing that you are good at. And so I love this because it's an encouragement to all of us who want to realize and be all that God has called us to be. Yeah. It's an encouragement from a 17-year-old young man. You don't need to have and he was a poor man, poor young man. He was a poor boy. He wasn't rich. His father's household wasn't rich. The Bible tells us that. And you look at this, the devil was trying to even tell you, yeah, what you got, that's not enough. You can't win with this. You don't have this, you don't have that advantage. Neither did David. David had nothing going for him except 5 smooth stones, a staff, and a shepherd's bag.
And what he also had was a relationship
That's right.
A relationship with God Almighty. He had
That's
a
right.
covenant.
That's right, and that's right, and that's what I want to say is that when you look at it in the natural, he had nothing going for him except he knew God.
Yes.
He knew God, and that made what seemed like a little bit of nothing everything.
Yeah.
And so, we say a lot through the devotions that it really comes down to you knowing God and us, our relationship with him. That makes the difference in everything. So we just want to encourage you in this today about the topic of instinct, and find out what your 5 smooth stones are, because that's where the difference will be made. Remember, with God, it's about relationship and not religion. All right, we look forward to connecting with you more on tomorrow. Bye for now.
Bye.